So I got my first resin printer, and I really like the level of detail that it can get when printing stuff. But this is not about how cool this is, even though it's cool. I came to the realization when setting up this machine that there might be something that's worse for you than the resin. And this applies to FDM printing too. Now we all probably know that you're not supposed to touch uncured resin, right? It's bad for you, it's toxic. And this printer came with tools and disposable gloves and masks to use when handling uncured prints. This printer also has a filter on it to help with the fumes. I wanted to make sure that I'm resin printing safely, so I put time into my setup to make sure that I have everything that I need. And part of that setup was to get an air quality detector to make sure that it was safe to print inside my basement. And as it turns out, compared to the fumes let off by the rubbing alcohol in the wash station, the print fumes are nothing. Nothing is printing right now, and this TVOC number is very low. Now, according to the internet, anything up to 0.5 is considered good air quality, and anything above 1 is considered poor air quality, so we're looking pretty good here. Now let's open this. Watch how quickly this gets overwhelmed. We're about to hit the threshold for poor air quality, and it's been like 14 seconds. Now look at this, at like 25 seconds in, we are 10 times the minimal threshold for poor air quality. And depending on the situation with your ventilation, it can linger for a very long time. This might not be news to some people, but it was to me. I don't know if it's maybe because the majority of the message on the content that I've watched puts the emphasis on the resin being toxic, or the fact that you can get IPA at like a drugstore and it's kind of got like this, oh, it's a first aid type thing and so it helps you. I just feel like there's not a strong enough message out there stating the potential dangers of the IPA. 10 times the minimum requirement for poor air quality in 25 seconds is a big deal. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation when you're doing stuff. Oh, and in case anyone's wondering, if that stuff includes soldering, these, not sufficient. This is not enough. In fact, this really doesn't do anything from my short testing. Oh yeah, and I said that this affects FDM printing too because many people use IPA as a cleaning agent for their beds. I used to do this, I don't anymore. Now it's just soap and water. To be clear, there's a difference between putting some of this on a cloth and rubbing it on your printer bed and just having like a gallon of this in open air. So using this in small quantities probably won't be nearly as bad, but I still think it's worth it to be aware of the potential risks. So what can you do about this? You can't stop the fumes, they're gonna happen. As far as I can tell, the best thing is ventilation. Bringing in a lot of fresh air and pushing all the fumey air out. So I've got my whole resin printer and soldering station set up right here, and above that I have a box fan that's pulling air out of the basement. And I then replace that air with fresh air brought in from this box fan. I also moved my wash station. This bucket used to be on the floor right here, but putting it up on my desk puts the fumes closer to where they can get sucked out by that fan quicker. That way I can wash my prints and maybe not reach that poor air quality level. And even if I do, it might not be as bad and it will return to normal much quicker. I am still working on my setup, but I'm glad that I got it this far. I almost had to move the print washing out to my garage. Then I would have to take a bunch of uncured resin up some stairs and into a completely different area of the house. Which of course has its own set of risks and probably would have tanked my resin printing journey before I even really started. I'm going to leave a link to this device in the video description in case you want to check out your own setup. It's going to be an affiliate link, so thanks a lot if you use it. It helps the channel, and if not, don't worry about it. You can just get these on Amazon. I think I searched for air quality detector. Hey, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.